Can we start?
Sure.
So I will wait for a moment for the host of the day to start the session.
Sure.
Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, please.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the 11th Faculty Development Program organized by St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Educational Innovation of St. Aloysius College, Elthurut. Respected Principal Dr. Chako Jos P. Today's resource person Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan, Dr. Libisan KB, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Shindo Jacob, Coordinator, St. Chavara Center, and all other participants. I invite you to the 11th FDP that deals with the topic Education Across Borders, Landscapes in India and Malaysia. Before we begin, I would like to invite Dr. Chako Jospi, Principal, St. Aloysius College, Elthurut, for the formal welcome speech.
Thank you, Lija, the resource person of this day, Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan, other other faculty members who have joined from various institutions in inside and outside the country, the coordinator of St. Chavara Center, Dr. Sindo, the IQAC coordinator of the college, Dr. Libizan, other faculty members of the college, and dear friends. St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Educational Innovation was started about a year ago with the intention of catering to the needs of all stakeholders in higher education. That is, we would like to cater to the needs of faculty members, non-teaching staff, administrative staff, students, and all other stakeholders in higher education like researchers. But the focus of the FDP, as you know, as the name indicates, is focusing on faculty members. And today we have the 11th in a series of FDP programs. We organize one program per month. So today's program is in a way different from other programs in the sense that today we have a resource person who is speaking from outside India. Earlier also we had resource persons from outside India, but the topic was totally different. Today we have Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan, who is Senior Lecturer, Department of Education, Help University, Malaysia. And she will be speaking on the topic Education Across Borders, Teaching and Learning Landscapes in India and Malaysia. The reason for selecting this topic is Dr. Priyadarshini is a person who did her higher education in India, and later started working outside India. And we have been hearing for a long time that Indian education should be internationalized. We should convert our education as globally competitive, and so on. But most of us do not know what exactly is the difference between the Indian education system and the international education system, and in what way we have to transform our higher education into an international standard. When we invite a resource person who is not familiar with the Indian education system, that person may not be able to bring out the key differences between the Indian system and the international system. So we are very lucky and honored to have Dr. Priya Muthukrishnan today, because she has experiences of working both in Indian environment and in Malaysian environment. So I hope today's session will be extremely beneficial to all our participants to understand in what way our education system, which is which has a very, very long ancient tradition, is different from that of the other countries. Dr. Priya will be introduced formally after this, so I'm not going into that. So on behalf of St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Education Innovation and St. Aloysius College, Thrissur, Kerala, I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan to this FDP. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Prof.
I also welcome all the participants who have joined from different parts of the country and outside the country. When we started this program, it was a physical meeting where the participants were from in and around the city of Thrissur. But when we converted this as an online program, hoping that it will benefit all the stakeholders, all the interested faculty members, we started to get participants from outside the state, and later we also started to get participants from outside the country. So I welcome all the participants to this FDP. I also welcome the coordinator of St. Chavara Center, Dr. Sindo, the IQAC coordinator of the college, Dr. Libizan, other faculty members of the college, other administrative staff of the college who have joined, and also some researchers of the college who have joined. So I welcome all of them to this program. Though there will be a formal vote of thanks, since I have to leave in between, I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Priya for accepting our invitation. I happened to read her profile on the LinkedIn and requested her whether she can give a lecture, and she readily agreed. So that is how this sender goes ahead. So I once again thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Chakko.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Ms. Adra KM, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, St. Lucia's College, to formally introduce our resource person. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Respected Principal, Dr. Chako Jospi, Resource Person for the evening, Dr. Priyadarshini, dear participants and my colleagues, a very good evening to all of you. It's with immense pleasure and a deep sense of honor that I'm here to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan, a senior lecturer at HELP University in Selangor, Malaysia. With a remarkable 25 years of teaching experience spanning across India and Malaysia, Dr. Priyadarshini brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the forefront of education. Dr. Priyadarshini's research areas specialize in impactful and interdisciplinary research approaches focusing on integrating technology for teacher professional development, learning analytics, and machine learning. As a research supervisor for PhD and MD programs, Dr. Priyadarshini has nurtured the next generation of scholars, guiding them towards excellence. Her contributions extend beyond the classroom and research lab. Dr. Priyadarshini is a proud recipient of numerous awards, including the prestigious Gold Award in Education Innovation in 2018. She has also secured seven research grants, including international collaborations such as Fundamental Research Grant Scheme and the Global Advocacy Campaign. Her extensive body of work is reflected in her many Scopus indexed publications. She has organized conferences, conducted workshops, and reviewed countless manuscripts. Her insights have been invaluable to the academic community, and she continues to serve as a resource person for many international conferences and webinars. In recognition of standing in the field, Dr. Priyadarshini holds professional memberships in esteemed organizations such as International Council for Open and Distance Education, ICDE, and the Association of Professionals in Curriculum and Educational Instruction in Malaysia. Her commitment to scholarship and expertise have led her to serve as a PhD thesis assessor for several universities in India and Malaysia. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan as our speaker, and I have no doubt that her presentation will enlighten and inspire us all. Please join me in extending warm welcome and enthusiastic welcome to Dr. Priyadarshini, a true luminary in the field of education and research. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I invite Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan for the session.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much. Thank you for a very nice introductory note from Ms. Adira, Dr. Adira or Ms. Adira, I'm not sure. And I'm very much pleased to be here to address the faculty of St. Aloysius College. Sorry if I'm mistaken with the name. And yes, I got introduction of Prof. Chaco Jose from in LinkedIn. And so I was glad to get his introduction, and then he invited me for the talk, and then I readily accepted, and then we kind of brainstorm on the idea of what could be a good topic. And this is something interesting for me because first time I'm also having some time to look into how it has been teaching and learning experience in India and Malaysia, and this is a wonderful topic for today. And today is Saturday, but I do see that you're all very active and have joined the session. So I'm very glad to be here to deliver this discussion or the talk on teaching and learning landscapes in India and Malaysia. So let me go to the topic first. Just give me a minute and then I will upload the PowerPoint. Yeah. I hope I'm sharing the PowerPoint.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the faculty development program, 11th program. So 10 programs have been successfully done. So I hope that this evening will be a fruitful discussion with you and in this topic on education across borders, teaching and learning landscapes in India and Malaysia. So I have organized my points, discussion points in these 5 areas, mainly number 1 at institutional level and then at program level. Third one is on teaching and course delivery, and the fourth one on student learning, and then some discussion and Q&A sessions. So one thing I would like to emphasize at the very beginning is that this is more of session is going to be of more of personal narratives and experiences and observations from what I have learned in working here. This is my 9th year, almost completing my 9th year in in universities. Yeah, so this is my observation and personal experience, and it won't be a totality of all that what is going on in Malaysian higher education settings. So that is one thing that I would like to emphasize. So yeah, this will be a more of personal narratives in all these 4 areas which I'll be covering in this discussion. Yeah, this is one interesting quote that I would like to put it here. It's very relevant to the topic of today, that we are a sum total of what we have learned from all who have taught us, both great and small. So in that way, I do see that I do have experienced the wealth of theoretical knowledge that I have learned back home in India during all my a program of studies, and now putting it into practice in Malaysian setting, it makes it very viable and easy for me to navigate between what has been learned in my country in back home in India, and now how I can put it into practice. So I'm grateful for, and I pay my gratitude to everyone along this way of career growth that they have contributed to me in a small way or in a bigger way. So that is very important for anyone. Yeah. So I acknowledge that contribution and what I have learned from others. So here is the first thing that I would just like to bring to your attention, that about the national education policy in Malaysia. So there are many key points underlying within this, but a few I would like to highlight that. One is that a holistic education is what Malaysia is trying to achieve. Okay, by the way, though the title goes as between India and Malaysia as views or perspectives. However, it is not a comparative view. I do not want to take it as a comparative view, but wherever required, I would like to add points from both perspectives, what is going on in India as well as in Malaysia. But primarily, I will focus a bit more on Malaysian context because I think that will be more relevant and relatable to what is the purpose of today's discussion. Yeah. So coming back to the NPE, there are many underlying concepts and key aspects here. But a few to highlight related to today's discussion is the holistic education is what Malaysia is aspiring to provide to their citizens, and global with the global standards. Yes, not without neglecting these moral standards, and to be more responsible and capable of achieving both personal well-being and also contribute to the society and also at nation at large. So, what is main aim of philosophy of Malaysian education is to become a knowledgeable, competent person of global standards. So, the education here in higher education setting is benchmark with global standards is what I would rather consider very important here. Okay, so yeah, so to start with, Malaysian education setting in higher learning institution, it is trying to achieve one of the main aim of all educational institution here is to attract international students, because the aim or proposed by this government and many initiatives have been taken to make it as an international education hub. So this is a wonderful destination for many international students. And there are students from many countries, from India as well. Yeah, we do have students from India in postgraduate programs in our university and also in other universities, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Middle East, many number of students from Middle East, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Pakistan, and then also neighboring countries like Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Korea, Japan also, and China, large number of students. So any educational institution we go that we will see a mixture of students from various countries. So it adds very wonderful flavor to the environment, to the campus. And as this news goes here from the New Straits Times 2020, when students aspire to do international education, to pursue international education, one thing that is most attractive here is the affordability, because coming to the currency and to what is with the UK or Australia or to the US currency exchange rates and cost of living and also tuition fees, Malaysia is very much affordable for international students, and therefore it becomes a very attractive destination for them. Okay. And therefore, because Malaysia is sizable number of international students are in all institutions, both private as well as public institutions. So what happens is the education here is more geared towards global recognition. So the curriculum is designed to benchmark with international standards. And not only that, because of the internationalization of education, many foreign universities have also opened up their campuses here, like universities from Australia, like Monash, and also from UK. There are more than 6 campuses from UK and also from other countries. So therefore, the standard of education, I would say that it has the global footing, and what is offered here is always critically viewed. What is offered, though there it is affordable, what is offered is also very important. So that is one important feature of education here. And this is something very important about the global rankings, the QS World Rankings. So 56 out of 70 universities have some way or the other global rankings in either by subject or by program or within the different criteria. So they are doing their best. And also there are 25 different ranking lists with universities in Malaysia, 20 institution and 5 subject rankings, and 13 global rankings rank universities in Malaysia are among the top 200. So we can see that all our institutions here, most of us, like in my institution as well, faculty have to deliver the KPI, which is the key performance indicator, annual performance indicator. So that really contributes to all this achievement. So in that way, we can consider that the quality of education offered in higher learning institution is at par with international standards. So here, this is the website source that I have retrieved about this data. It is just retrieved just yesterday. So there are many universities, both public as well as private universities. Now, in Malaysia, most of the public universities are in a better standing in the QS ranking, and therefore, private universities are also competent in trying to achieve the standards, and they climb the ranking every year higher and higher in subject or in a program or at the institution level. So it's quite a competitive arena about this QS world ranking among the universities in Malaysia. Yeah, so this is another one that is at the international branch campuses. So there are many foreign universities, about 10 foreign universities are here currently from Australia, UK, Ireland, and China. And some of these universities are in top 100 of QS World ranking. And they offer the very identical program of what is offered at their home campuses. So the curriculum, syllabus, everything is prepared, and it is what is typically what is offered in the home campuses. And sometimes, like, the lecturers or the professors will also be taking online classes, or adjunct professors from other countries. Yes, they do engage. So students get very good standards of education in Malaysia. Like, no need to go to the home campuses, but then they have different arrangements for it, like one semester or 1 year they can go to the home campuses and take the courses there, and therefore they can get the credits transferred to those campuses if similar programs are offered. And they have to plan their make some academic decisions, like when they have to go and what semester the particular subjects are offered. And also they may consider going to the home campuses for internship. So these are some attractive features that there is something very unique that makes students get that international flavor or experience of education in Malaysia. Yeah, and extending on the same view of internationalization. So the other aspect is global curriculum. So there are different modes of global curriculum, and degree offerings are offered, like dual programs. So students who are completing dual programs, they get their graduation scroll will be from the home, that is from Malaysian campus, and one from the foreign campus. So they get 2 scrolls when they graduate. So because it is a very parallel program run at both campuses, but they will complete all the programs in the campus in Malaysia. And these programs are overseen, and and it is very rigorous in quality assurance that it is delivered in the same way as it is delivered in the foreign campus. So all the delivery, right from course preparation, planning, delivery, and there is a lot of monitoring procedures to ensure that the quality of program offered in the here in the home country here is same as the foreign institution. And also another program is that twinning program, and then that is also very attractive among students. And on-campus semester, as I told you earlier, one semester or 1 year, they may want to go and visit the foreign country, and they want to take some courses there, and then they come back to the home country and get the credits transferred here. So such arrangements are also available depending on the universities and the program. And also there are arrangements for student exchange as well as faculty exchange and internship opportunities also to do it abroad with the tied university is also possible. So coming to at the institution level, one is that accreditation, right? So that is one rigorous procedure that ensures that the quality of the program offered matches the standards that recommended by the Ministry of Education. So similar to the NAC program, which you have the accreditation body that ensures the quality assurance in all the institutions. Here we have Malaysian quality assurance. And I'm sure that faculty preparing for NAC, it's very detailed procedure, and I think I do share the very same views with what is going on when we prepare and for the Malaysian MQA visit and audits. I think that is everywhere the same. So very rigorous quality assurance from MQA standard, which is under the purview of Malaysian Ministry of Education. So MQA advises institutions on quality, program quality, and it accredits the program, institution, as well as qualification. And it also offers consultancy and advisory services. And of course, when we start a program, first we will get a provisional accreditation, PA we call it. And when the first cohort of students are in the very last semester, almost that's the last semester they are going to complete the program, then we need to submit to the MQA. So then MQA audit will be happening in the very last semester when the first cohort of students completes the program, and we go for the full accreditation of the program. So this goes on as in a cyclical manner. So once new program gets approved by MQA to start the program, and then student enrollment takes place, and then say like it is 3 years program, at the very last semester we go for FA, that is full accreditation audit. And then once it is fully accredited, then the students can get it is recognized by the Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education. And this goes on, right? It is cyclical every 5 years, and then monitoring and review goes on. Okay. And yeah, so there are certain requirements. What requires by MQA, a diploma program requires 90 credits, bachelor program is 120 credits, and master's by research, meaning it has to go through the other requirements, but if it is through coursework or mixed mode, then it is 40 credits. So another interesting thing with the Malaysian students is that there are sizable number of students in our diploma program. So say like diploma in IT, then they have bachelor's in IT, master's. So very clear learning pathway is given to the students, say like joining a particular program. You start the program at the diploma level, and then what are the career learning progression, and what could be the next higher program that you can continue in the same institution. So after doing the secondary leaving certificate, which is SSLC, our SSLC, which is equivalent to SPM here, students just get into diploma, and that is something you can see, like most of the universities also offer certificate and diploma courses, which is very, very common in Malaysia. And these students at a very young age also, they would like to get into workforce because they have family commitments and other commitments, and they take diploma courses as well. And when it comes to master and doctor program, most of our students in private universities as well as public universities also are international students. Like in my university where I teach PhD students, 90% of them are international students from Middle East, most of them from China, and a few from Middle East. So I mean, it is very attractive for master and doctor programs, students, international students, compared to bachelor degree. So in a bachelor degree, probably 10% of students will be international students from different countries generally. Now, we have this MQF, Malaysian Quality Framework, which is very, very important to maintain the program standards, which I'll be discussing later when it comes to course delivery. I'll put some PowerPoints. So this is where it's like the holy book for us. We just refer to anything and everything to the MQF standards. So we need to be compliant with this, because only then our accreditation will be continued. And if there is anything mismatch or misalignment with what is recommended by the MQA and what has been implemented in actual practice, if there is difference and if it is a noticeable difference during audits, then it may be, there could be severe implications. So we always refer to the MQF standards right from program design, program delivery, and continuous monitoring and for quality assurance. This is something is very rigorous in all the institutions. Yeah. Now, one important aspect of that I would like to highlight here is that Malaysian universities, they invest heavily in infrastructure of the institution, right from accessibility to technology. Students have a lot of facilities when it comes to infrastructure, and mostly like some of the campuses, though it may look like sometimes the campuses, public universities are in very big campuses, and some of the universities even operate in commercial buildings, universities, as a part or like college, but still they have the sufficient infrastructure, not outdoor, but within the class, they have good infrastructure in the terms of technology and the facilities in the classroom. So accessibility is also another factor. So wherever students, it is accessible to accommodate special need students as well. Now, what are the recent initiatives at the institution level? Though there are many, I just want to bring to highlight these recent initiatives, which is Malaysian universities are more now geared towards offering flexible learning pathways to accommodate diverse learner types and even for adult learners. So there are several strategic plans and recommendations going on, and our institutions are trying to stretch ourselves in offering Apple A, which is for access. These are accreditation for experiential learning. So I'm sure there are similar arrangements in recommended by UGC as well. So like Apple Q, we have our master program. So sometimes teachers, say for example, for getting a master's in teaching and learning, anyone with 20 years of experience in teaching and learning, meaning teaching in school or any institution, or it can be even private tuition center, but they don't have a proper qualification in education, say like bachelor's in education or even master's, but they have been in the industry. So if someone with industry experience, solid industry experience of 20 years, then they can apply, and they will go through some very rigorous testing and evaluation procedures. And then if they are qualified, they will be offered, they will be conferred with the degree of Masters in Teaching and Learning. So which is equivalent to replacing an industry expert who lacks this degree but now gets a formal degree. Now, Apple A and C, or anything that is acquired through informal or non-formal learning, and then they can continue to formal education. So these are some alternative pathways that to enable that everyone is graduated, everyone has that knowledge, skills, and to engage in that profession. Yeah. So these are recent initiatives, and we are in our university, in my university also, we are preparing in these new programs. Certification, yeah. And open and distance learning, I think India is very well known for open and distance learning institution like IGNOU and so many, yeah. And massive open online courses, this is also something that some recent initiatives that all open, not only open distance learning universities, but then regular conventional universities are trying to offer some courses as MOOCs. So it is massive open online courses, and yes, YM is a wonderful platform for that. I do sign up for these courses, but I couldn't come over there to sit it for and take the exam, get the certification. But it's so amazing and wonderful that I could go through the materials, what is available, especially on e-learning, and also on new other areas. So it's very interesting to learn through MOOCs, though it is, but I aspire sometime I can come and get some certification, because it's the exam time is really difficult for me to plan for travel. Yeah. The next one is the micro credentials. So students now say like one course that I would like to learn. So say for example now some programming that I could use, programming skills I could use for education, for research purpose, say like machine learning models and other things. Then maybe I can take one course from IT department related to this course, and then I can accumulate it. So the more the number of courses, it's like you accumulate the credits. At one point of time, you can even get graduated with the relevant program that it matches the credit. So these are some alternative pathways that to engage students in order to continue as also to encourage them as a lifelong learner. Yeah, so these are some of the initiatives. Yes, research and innovation. Yes, it's very similar to what is happening in India, and I would say that all faculties are involved intensively in research and development activities, or whatever be their areas of interest, or whatever a line of research development activities. It is a constant process and continuous process alongside the teaching and learning. So publication, attending programs like this, FDP, upskilling, training requirements, meeting the KPIs. Yeah, so these are also some stringent procedures that we need to comply with in order to perform well. Now, let me move to the program level. At the program level, yeah, one thing that I would like to highlight here is that the use of LMS. So a learning management system. So every institution has its own well-equipped learning management system. Like in my institution, we have Moodle platform. Some of the public universities here, they have their own homegrown LMS solution. Even in India, I think many universities, they have their own LMS, right? So yes, this is something very, very important. So all the resources, learning materials regarding the course and whatever the lecturer, instructor want to deliver to the class, everything is uploaded in the learning platform. And it's a very active, interactive interface between the student and the faculty, I mean the instructor. Anything you want to share, whether it is announcement to the students or a class cancellation or getting some views of, for some class rearrangement or scheduling, anything, it is put up in the LMS. And now alongside the LMS, the communication nowadays, because of the Microsoft Teams, Teams chat is also favorable. Now students just, anything they want to chat, they want to clarify, they just drop a message in the Teams chat and we may have to check. Yeah, so therefore coming back to LMS, LMS is the most resourceful platform, I would say that. Whatever the university offers, everything is done in that platform, like course management, submission of assignments, plagiarism checking, like Turnitin report, and marking in the online marking with the and also grades are given in the LMS, and students can view the grades and get the feedback. And any type of resource sharing, whether it is digital books, ebooks, or websites, and also learning activities, lot of learning activities, collaborative learning activities, and also student ranking. Say, like for example, in the LMS, you have put something for reading, a quiz activity, and ask them to watch a video and write notes on it. So we may track whether the student have accessed this. So tracking their learning activities can be done, and anything about their attendance. Sometimes students, if you see their login, some of them like very frequently log in, some of them they don't log in. You can even monitor whether they are really coming to the class, attending to your materials, and also generating reports. So LMS is a very active interface that mediates between all the communication and course learning activities between the lecturer and the student. Anything gone missing, so the PowerPoint slides, week plan, activities, everything week by week, it is posted in the learning management system. Yeah, so this is something very important, and it will be audited also for the MQA compliance and other matters. Now coming to academic calendar, this is something interesting. In India, the academic calendar is usually student enrollment. I mean, student enrollment happens once a year, if I'm not mistaken. That was the trend when I was studying that time. So only once a year, and you have to wait until the next year. But here, 3 to 5 times in a year. So it's a semester pattern. So there are major intakes, and 3 major intakes and 2 minor intakes, especially in private institutions. Most likely in public institution and foreign institution, they work on their calendar, whatever it is. Yeah. So there are many intakes. So even like in private institution, there are 5 students to 10 students, depending on the program, if still possible. And sizable number of students have applied for it. Immediately they will start with that. So therefore, classes will be ongoing throughout the year, and lecturers are quite busy preparing materials and delivering it. And our long semester is usually like 16 weeks, and then the short semester is 9 weeks. This is including the exam weeks. So this is typically like in a year, 3 semesters we have, one long semester, one short, and then another long semester. And results are released in 18 weeks or in just before the other semester starts. And so when students they failed, say for example they failed, and then immediately some universities offer their supplementary exam. They can sit for the supplementary exam within few weeks, or sometimes some universities you need to wait for the next exam time, which will be for the next semester to sit for the exam. So these are some differences that I noticed, that you can go and register in any of the universities here, and you can just start it in the immediate intake. You need not wait for 1 year. Now, the semester timetabling is also another interesting thing. Usually, it's block timetabling. So, like students will concentrate on only one subject, like 3 credit hours means 3 hours of face-to-face class. 4 credit hours means 4 hours. So, in a semester, students will take like 5 to 6 subjects. So, these 5 to 6 subjects will be arranged in the 5 days. Monday to Friday. Sometimes they may have 2 classes. Otherwise, one day, only 1 class for 3 hours or 4 hours. So students will just come for only that time slot, and then they may be in the campuses, but then other times they don't, you very rare to see them. So sometimes if there is no class, they don't come to the campus at all. It depends on how they want to work. And therefore, it's quite intensive, going for 3 to 4 hours lecture, though we offer now flexible and hybrid learning, not hybrid, I mean blended learning. We can arrange for some online activities, say like 2 hours you have a class, and then 1 hour you can put some online activities in the LMS where they need to review an article or write a discussion or write something, and they need to post it. We have to set a time that they need to post it by the end of the day, like a homework. So this is something I see a very major difference from what I was doing back home. Like when I was doing studies, it's not 9 to 5, but it is intensive learning period of 3 hours with the lecturer. So there are pros and cons of this, but very importantly, the downside of this could be if student didn't come for the class, then it's a greater loss for them, unless they catch up with what has been going on. And sometimes they get lost. They find it very difficult to get to the flow. But it gives them a lot of flexibility, because I do see that Malaysian students, it was very surprising for me that Malaysian students, they go, even bachelor student, they take a hourly basis some part-time work. It can be some of the students do online teaching, especially I'm in education background, so they do online teaching. So 1 hour, 2 hours every day they teach, or like go to some tuition center, or even restaurants, or any type of job they like to do. They just engage in it, not necessarily with what they are doing. So they may want to get employed as a sales representative. Yes, they do that. And then when I see, sometimes I see students doing all this, it's interesting to interact with them. So they are very open to work right from at a very young age. That is something very different from what I experienced for myself, when I was a student. Now the language of instruction, yes, it's very much Malaysian culture is very much multicultural environment. So, Malays, and they speak Bahasa Malaysia, and then we have Chinese, and they have Mandarin, Cantonese, and other dialects, and Tamil speaking, of course, Hindi, Telugu, and other. But the prominent is Tamil, is what is generally we call here. So it's a very multicultural environment. So food is wonderful here. Anywhere you go, you have variety of dishes, and very interesting to enjoy different dishes here. So coming to language. So therefore, in classes, English is the primary language for instruction, and some of them are very multilingual. Most of them, they know Malay language because that's the national language, and all the documents here will be in Malay. But then other they learn their cultural language as well, and that is something unique here. And public universities, yes, students sometimes they get both languages, in Malay as well as in English, and they are allowed to even write, if they are in Malay medium, their PhD theses and dissertations. Now, coming to assessment and grading, most of the courses is offered either like 70%, 30%, or 60%, 40%, meaning 70% is coursework or assignments, and only 30% for final exam, or 60-40, whatever ratio that works. And they used to be consistent with the particular program. Either they choose 70-30 or 60-40. So then we see that most of the contribution or in assessment comes from the assignments, and variety of assignments are used. It's not test or paper pencil, alternative assignments, assessments, like PowerPoint presentations, case study, interview report, like what we do, even video analysis, writing, very practical based assessments will be there. So the final exam is the exam where we use the paper pencil written work, right? But then assignment is more of practical based, even going to school and interview, whatever field it is. So, and the grading system are also very standardized according to the university policy, however. Now, this is something very important. Of course, I'm sure that it is also practiced in India. This is outcome-based education. So, outcome-based education is across all the institutions. So, very rigorous procedure, right from course designing, course delivery to implementation. So designing assignment, we need to map it with the course learning outcomes, and then everything is quantified, and we need to show the evidence. So right from designing until delivery and then monitoring. I have put some of the practices that what we have been practicing in my institution, but similar practices are done across all the institutions here. And what is important here is active learning. So in a classroom, we can see like typically though we have 3 to 4 hours of classroom, there will be 20 hours lecture followed by 20 minutes lecture followed by 20 minutes discussion, and then maybe a short break. And then we come for another short lecture followed by discussion, presentation, writing, sharing. So it is not going to be completely lecture or like a student. It is very much student centered. So students, they will voice out, they can't understand, they find it difficult, and lot of sharing. It's not just a lecturer teaching there, standing and teaching there. So a room for discussion is what matters here. It's something very lively in a OB practices, that is active learning, and all these are need to be reflected in the delivery, course delivery. And yeah, some of the things I have already highlighted. Yes, so coming to OB practices, so say like the semester commences, say like in another 2-3 weeks time. Actually, the semester planning, course material preparation happens like 3 weeks before. So before the semester commences, the lecturer have to prepare a week plan, and then table of specifications, and then assessment structure, assignments, and all will be presented and moderated and get approved. And usually lecturers are encouraged to upload all the materials in the LMS before the commencement of the classes, at least when the students come and visit, because they rely on the course page only. And if it is not there, certainly they will drop an email like what I should be doing, or things like that. So usually we put it everything before the start of the semester, the week schedule. So because students, when they see that they didn't attend the class, so they know what lesson they missed or what topic or unit they missed. So week plan, everything is put up for them. And we have a very rigorous implementation and process, in the sense the course delivered, we have to see that we adhere to the week plan, and the course progress student progress, course progress we need to monitor, and mark assignments. Usually we have two assignments. One we will give in week 7, another one in week 10. So week 7 assignments have to be marked before the students they leave the, they finish the course. And also assignments, and both assignments have to be marked and given the marks before they go for the final exam, so that they know where is the gap. And feedback have to be written feedback. Mostly students prefer written feedback, and so we have to be critical in giving written feedback. And everything is documented, right from moderation. The moderator gives comments, what revision the lecturer made after receiving the comments, everything, email communication, and all are be maintained as soft copies. Even students, they submit assignments as soft copies in the LMS. If needed, we will print it, and for the audit purpose we will print it. So all are maintained as soft copies. Course file and course, all these evidences are maintained as soft copies. And at the end of the course, it is about the review and presenting the table of specifications, test specification. So everywhere documents. So coming to the OBE practice, let me skip this. Now, this one is what I refer to the UGC guideline, referring to graduate attributes. This is what the attributes I read from this guideline book, which is in page 18 in this website. So this is similar to what we practice here in the Malaysian universities here. We call it MQF 2.0 standards. So these are the standards. We have 5 clusters. We can see that: knowledge, cognitive, functional works, practical skills, and then we have this ethics and professionalism. So these are 5 clusters, and these are the sub skills we have. So whenever we prepare assignments and even course learning outcome, we need to map it to which of the learning outcome are we looking at, because in the OBE we need to quantify what is achieved by the students, right? So therefore, constructive alignment is what we work for it to achieve the best. So lecturers are very much work towards constructing, giving the assignments aligned with these MQF standards. So so this is graduate attributes. We have this, and therefore from there we map it to our qualification descriptors and program learning outcomes, and then course learning outcomes. So there is constructive alignment across this. And therefore I will touch more on OBE coming to teaching and course delivery. Now, this is something unique, as I told, that the multicultural flavor of this environment. So it's a mixture of students, not only citizens of Malaysia, but also from international population. So you see a lot of variety of people, culture, and we need to be more acceptable and open-minded towards it, and value diversity, and have kind of cultural humility also. I would say that every culture is unique. So it's very important, though there is so much of diversity, but English is the common language, so we won't feel anything left out, because always we can communicate in that language, which is mostly. So therefore there is not an issue here. So I have learned Malay a bit, but not a thorough way of understanding, especially very, very simple words I have learned, because most of my instruction and communication is in English. Therefore, probably if I have worked in public universities, sure, I would have hardcore learned local languages. So that is very unique here. So appreciating cultural diversity. So that is something important. Now, coming to class and assessment requirements, we comply with the MQA. And plagiarism, usually it is university will be 15% or less. So it is inbuilt in our LMS. So students, whenever we give assignments, we ask them to submit. And now AI usage, and that is another area of discussion. So now universities are coming up with the AI policy. to use this, what is the allowed AI content, because in Turnitin it will show the AI content as well as from other sources. So for now, we are currently using 15% of less than 15% of AI content also. Yeah, so that's a practice. We may revise accordingly whenever required. And pass grade is 50% always. So some courses require pass, most of the courses required pass in assignment as well as pass in the exam. So only if they pass in both courses, both assessments, then they get a pass. So if they fail in assignments, then for sure they cannot pass. So different type of supplementary exams are conducted. Now, class policy, if it is 3 hours, then usually communication is only via the LMS or other email communication. So students will be in the classroom and we just deliver the lecture. If there is any class cancellation or anything, we need to communicate with them, students, very clearly when we are need to replace the classes. And we need to, because it is a block timetable, the venues, availability, and other things, you need to sort it out, because students, though it is, they come in semester, you give the course offering, we recommend students, okay, you are from this intake, you should be taking these 6 courses. But at times they say, like, this semester I am taking only 5. And maybe they are taking one subject that is not according to their year and semester, one subject that is ahead of their semester. Like, so therefore what happens is, if there will be clashes in the timetable that they need to work, which class, which subject they are taking, all that. So this makes it very very important for the course, I mean the administrative executive, to monitor that students complete courses on time and graduate on time. At the same time, students have to take their responsibility also, that they cover all the courses and they don't blame someone for it. So they are, in that way, they monitor their course progress and take self-responsibility. Yeah, so this is how we plan our the list of courses what we have, like in a program. This is for a diploma in education program, and we have 11 PLOs. So following the OBE, we will map all the courses with the PLOs. So this is very critical in the uh, in maintaining the program quality. So maintaining which learning outcome, and all these learning outcomes are mapped to MQF, those 5 clusters. So this is how we plan our course structure based on OBE. And this will be our course outline with the topics, and our course learning outcomes are given clearly, mapped against the program learning outcome, which is again mapped with the MQF. So which psychomotor domain we offer, and therefore when lecturers, say for example, want to design an assignment for catering to CLO1 and CLO2, they need to be creative, and they need to see that, okay, this assignment clearly will map it with the CLO1 and CLO2. And across all the assignments they offer and all the topics they offer, it is listed in this syllabus, they need to map it across the course learning outcome. And following that, yeah, so this is a course learning outcome that is mapped against the graduate standards, which is in UGC or the MQS standards. So coming to this, yeah, this is the mapping of with the MQF. So we map the program learning outcome across the MQF standards. And also every course learning outcome, what type of teaching methods and assessment methods we use, we need to map also. So this really takes so much time for the lecturer to plan the course and design and deliver the course. And each topic is again mapped with the course learning outcome, and how many hours of lecture, how many hours of tutorial or the discussion, and how many hours of learning. So for a 3 credit hours course, we have to map it to 120 hours of SLT learning time. So each topic is mapped across different learning outcomes, as well as the no, yeah, we can see here independent learning as well as synchronous and online learning. Now, this is what I'm presenting is the syllabus structure. So assignment 1, how much weightage and what is the learning hours and all that, we will have to map it. And so this student learning outcome. Now, coming to the program, maintaining a program as a program leader or a head of a program, we need to see that, okay, subject 1 caters to what learning outcome at which cognitive level, whether it is cognitive, affective, or psychomotor. So a complete mapping of all the list of courses across different domain it should be mapped. And yes, lecturers have autonomy to change the course learning outcomes, but not the program learning outcomes. That can be done only after the course review, program review. And there will be a lot of exercise for the program review, like meeting with industry advisory boards, and they review the courses, and also alumni. So there are also some procedures in monitoring and reviewing the program. Lecturers have autonomy in modifying the topics and also in not disturbing the alignment, but then reframing the course learning outcome, designing the assignments. Yes, they do have autonomy in designing, in delivering the courses. And finally, after all the students' achievement have done, we have a Excel a sheet, and some universities, they have even very sophisticated program and for this. So all students, because every assignment and even exam questions are mapped against the each item, against each of the learning outcomes. So we can generate graphs based on different achievements. So, for example, program learning outcomes, what is the outcome of this particular cohort of students, and what is the outcome in the different learning domains. So all this lecturer, after the end of the course, we need to submit so much of documentation involved in this. So we need to enter the marks of every single student in every single question, which is mapped against it, and then this graphs will be generated automatically. So we can see that against MQF domains, this particular, say for example, this is on program delivery, not at course level, this is at a program. So particular cohort of students, they completed 3 years, then at the end of 3rd year, what is their achievement, we can quantify. So this is a part of assignment. So when we are planning assignment, then we will say like this is for a research subject that I teach. So it is mapped against a course learning outcome 1, 2, and 3, and submission and whatever it is. So at the start of the course, a very clear class policy is given. Yeah, I think I'm running out of time. Let me move quickly. Yeah, so these are some charts generated to do the course review at the end of the course, and as a practice of OBE practices. We can see the different levels of achievement at the different CLOs. Now, this is the graph where, the sheet where we need to maintain each student, what they scored in each question, so that we achieve the graph. And coming to, student size, it is very hectic for the lecturer to map everything to the student. So we need to be much more organized so that it's not overwhelming for the lecturer towards the end. Yeah. Now coming to students and learning, which is very interesting part. Now students here, they get PTN loan, which is offered by the National Higher Education Fund Corporation by the ministry. So students, most of them get their PTN loan based on different requirements. If they meet the requirements, they get it. And the very important thing is these loans, what the students get, they need not repay after they get graduated if they graduate with the first class honors. So students who have, they got the loan, they work so hard that even 1 mark they come at the back of you like why I have lost this mark, and because they are very much concerned about and they're getting a scholarship because the loan will be converted into scholarship. So they work very hard. Like assignments you give them, they will even come send you the assignments, ask you to check, and then ask for improvements, and then they will submit. And here in coming to assignments also, students work as individual as well as group assignments. So they work as group and they support each other. A lot of collaborative learning is what is common, very very common in Malaysian settings. It's not individual work. Usually one assignment is individual, one assignment is group. So they need to work together and see that they help each other also. So these students, they work very hard because they also need to maintain the loan also. They need to have the minimum requirement. And in order to get very good marks, they work very hard. Now, students, how do they contact lecturer is also something very different from what I experienced as a student back home. So usually they write an email that they need a consultation and they get an appointment with the lecturer, and we go for online or face-to-face consultation, whether it is 10 minutes or 15 minutes meeting. Or sometimes it happens in the class so naturally that they come and approach you, and usually in the classroom also, it's very cooperative learning setting, not competitive. At the same time, each student's their individuality is appreciated and accepted. So usually students, they work together and they do very well, uh, and they ask for feedbacks and improvements consistently, how they can improve. At times you really need to find some time to give feedback to them about their assignments or even the tutorials activities what we are doing, which is we need to be very planned with that. Now, attendance is minimum attendance is an institutional policy. Some institution they consider at least 50, 60, 80 different for local students. But for international students, very stringent. They should have 80% attendance and minimum pass to maintain visa. So what happens is, as a lecturer, we may have some international student and we need to monitor them, mark their attendance online, that they are attending, and they get a minimum pass, because otherwise these students will be in a difficult situation. They cannot extend their visa. So we need to be somewhat be more empathetic with these students and be very helpful to them. And students are usually inform us that they will not attend the class via email or leave, and a lecturer will have to collect the MCs and record it as also. And when we submit the attendance, marking the attendance online as well as physical, we have to maintain this. Yes, classroom participation is something important, and usually the academic process in Malaysian universities is very streamlined. So students have a lot of freedom. They can plan, like, okay, Monday is what I have class. Usually our class starts at 8 o'clock and it goes until 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock sharp, we will start most of the time, like it depends. So anytime we may get, but it starts at 8 o'clock here. So they will be here, and then so they plan their activity. Okay, today I'm going back early, or staying home, staying with friends to do the group project. So they have a lot of autonomy, or they want to even work. And the decision also, the course decision, because the course offering, they know what are the courses offered. So they need to keep check of, okay, this one I'm taking, this one I'm taking, this one I will be taking next semester. If it is not offered, then they may not be able to graduate within the stipulated time. So they need to be very self-responsible, take self-responsibility that they complete the courses. At the same time, department administration also manages their course progression, but it is their decision whether they want to register or not, is purely up to their decision for that. And they have a lot of advising and counseling offered, and also club activities. So coming to students profile, yes, very diverse settings, students, very students are very casual, and they just voice out if anything appreciating, or if anything they needs, they don't hesitate, they just reach out to us, reach out for help. And there are so many other counseling and other facilities are also available, like students, I do see that some of the students have mental health or other issues, family issues or other issues. They get advice from the counseling, and so very intensive counseling will be offered in all the universities, something very unique also. And yes, multicultural and multilingual setting. Students are very self-directed. They take the self-responsibility of what they are doing, and they are more matured. And because here it is, by the time they enter university, they are almost 18 years, so they are very mature to that extent, much more mature. They take independence and autonomy in deciding and what they want, what they require, how they can achieve, they plan. um, when I call them for a meeting, they say that they have some appointment with other friends, or like even with the learning groups what they have, and they will request, can I come another time? So they have that autonomy on deciding what they want to do and how they have to do. And very interestingly, yes, learn while you learn. So this is also something they just opt for any part-time job that they are interested in. It can be, sometimes they say they bring some pastry items like cookies and cakes, or even they say like, I make cookies and birthday cakes, if you are interested you can buy. So anything that is makes them happy and get involved, they are ready to go. So these are some of the interesting things about students here. Yeah, so coming to the key takeaways, I have shared a lot of experiences on Malaysian education system, and I hope that along the way you would have made like how it is here and how it is there. But there is nothing to say that this works best and that doesn't work. Its context matters is what I would say. So in this context, several things are happening, but which may or may not happen or in a very same successful way in another context. So, however, there are some important key takeaways. What I would say that is practicing OBE practices, giving more room for student freedom, and more interactive learning approach, where I would say in my class, students are co-creators of knowledge, or even learning partners. Sometimes, especially when I teach PhD students in research class, I just tell them you're my learning partner, because when I teach, I am also learning. So not that student-centered approach or top-down model that works. That won't be working anymore. And also on a learning management system and being more resourceful is what I would say makes students' life very easier and very focused. And that is also something important. And now with the use of AI, though the opportunities are booming, at the same time, ethical use of AI in education is what is the major concern for all educators. So therefore, there are a lot of things need to be happened and also refined on a constant basis. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I finish, and I think I have taken a bit more time, 10 minutes extra. Okay. Now I am open for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's the time for Q&A session. So participants, if you have any questions, you may ask.
Yeah, please feel free to type the questions in the chat box, or you please unmute yourself and can ask the question. I see like 39 participants here.
I think there are no questions from the participants, so you can
Okay, all
move
right.
to film other section.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to interact with you all today. Hope to see you sometime in the
Okay,
near
wait,
future.
ma'am. We have
Thank you.
another section for thanking you. So,
Okay.
Lydia, you can continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Arati Babu, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, for proposing vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Today we had a very interesting and insightful FDP program titled Education Across Borders, Teaching and Learning Landscapes in India and Malaysia, which made us aware about the various teaching and learning practices existing in Malaysia, which will definitely benefit the teaching community in our college. So, on behalf of St. Aloysius College, Elthurut, and St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Educational Innovation, I would like to thank the resource person of the day, Dr. Priyadarshini Muthukrishnan, for taking the time and effort to deliver such a useful talk for us all. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I thank our principal, Dr. Chaco Joseph, for his continued support and cooperation of all the programs held by St. Chavara Center. Thank you, sir. Next, I thank Dr. Sindhu Jacob, Coordinator, St. Chavara Center for Teaching Excellence and Educational Innovation, and Dr. Libison KB, IQAC Coordinator, for facilitating and organizing this program for us. Finally, I thank all the participants for their active support and participation in this event. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Participants,
very much. Yeah, thank you.
before leaving, can you please switch on your camera? Yeah, we have to take a group photo. Please switch on your camera, everyone. Participants, please note that the feedback link will be given in the chat box. Please fill it before you leave. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you.
for participating. Thank you.